God is not a body, not some body. God is radiation. Suppose you see rainfall. You see it rains, rays of rain. Well, if this rain was not that visible, but like little hardly visible dots, or then you could make an image of what God is. God is everything around you, like these raindrops, invisible raindrops, but when they touch an object, they become that object. So when God radiation touches, it is God in that form visible. That means God is all. Everything you see is God. Outside of you, before you, after you, above you, below you, and inside of you. All radiation touching this form. So God's radiation is this form. We have to learn and to realize and understand that God played with us. This radiation made itself imprisoned in a mind form. And the mind expresses itself as a separated I am. But it is the same radiation, and the play is that you start to understand that the mind is not yours, but the mind is the play of God's radiation, the way He expresses Himself, in order to understand that the form doesn't matter. It's not about the visibility of this radiation. It's about this rays of God. What you see now, the electricity, the if you could see it as stripes, you would see lines. But that's the radiation, like the sun rays. You cannot see sun rays because everything is light. And sometimes you see behind a tree or between clouds, you see one ray of the sun. Then imagine all these rays were visible, not as one light, but as millions of rays, of billions of rays. Well, that is what God is. It's not one God, it is billions of rays of Him, or it. But for me, still, Sai Baba took that form. He and took all the bundle of rays in his form and came down with his own rays on earth in order to help us get out of this misery. And if you feel when you are close to Sai Baba, you need no words. There are no words left. It's just blown away by his. And he says this body has no organs, no liver, nothing in it but light. Yes, he is the bundle of rays of light in a form. And when you see that, it's amazing. It's amazing. And everything is His radiation. There's only God, but not one person. God is rays of light. See the flowers, that's the rays of God's light, visible as the flower. Or the book on the table, or the phone in your hand, or the light in your eyes. That's God. That's what you are. Be happy. The one sun shines on the whole world. That means it pours its light on every aspect of happenings on the planet, on the one side of the planet, of course, because the other side is in darkness. There is no movement, there is no mind, no one busy. Maybe some creepy people are doing bad things, but it's about the sun. There's only one light, and that light shines on all people being busy to go to the office, or buying food on the market, or trying to get the baby silent that is not wanting to sleep, or walking with the dog, or pouring rain on people on the bicycle, and some people are fighting with each other, quarreling, or this is all different forms of life from the one sun. And when they get tired, the sun is turning to the other side. It's not the sun turning, but the earth is turning, of course. But then there is the dark side of the day, and we call that the night. And then we are exhausted of all those movements, and we rest. And mind is way gone. And we long for that, to have no mind. But, helaas, the sun is coming back in the morning, and then it starts all over. And all those people busy in all those countries are lightened by the one sun. That's to say, in other words, this one sun is a God, the moving force of all those people acting as what they are doing. Stop getting in the bus to school, and buying stuff, and sitting home and talking about God on a video, and YouTube people, and all this is enlightened by the one God. It is the moving force. Why are we thinking that we are separated from all this and responsible and important, and that's the mind? But the mind is not there in the night. So where is the importance, and where is the things we need to do? Where is this very special I in the night? It's not even there. It doesn't exist. It comes back in the morning, and then, wow, I have this and I must do that. It's a silly game, because if God would not move us, we would be dead. And we are dead in the deep sleep in the night. There's none of us left. There's only the peace of the silence of the source that starts all over in the day to act and to make us move. We are just objects. There is not one wave in the ocean that can say, I'm gonna rise now. Look at me, look at me. No, but all people do that. Look at me, what I have succeeded in this, and whoa. It's only mind, but the mind is not there in the night. How can it be there in daytime? It's fantasy. It's God's play. It's all happening in the one sunlight. It's all happening in the one mind of God, the Spirit. So you cannot even stop doing because you don't do. You cannot stop thinking because it's not you that think. You cannot start or stop. No way, nothing. Just waiting till the ocean lifts you up and you breaks you down again. And God lifts you up and lets you fall again. Because that's the way life is. Ups and downs, ups and downs. It's not you. And some moment light is coming inside you, enlightening your true being. Then you start to feel a difference, and at that moment you are born in the light of God, or in the knowing, or in the wisdom that you are this light, you are this God. And then there's no more night time for you. No, it will be light all over. It's amazing, but it's not you. You can do nothing to reach it. It's only when you have had a lot of pain and trouble that there's something inside of you breaking. It starts to give up. And then this God can come in full glory inside in your life, what he always was, but you never had an attention for it. So funny, this game. It's a funny game, the game of light and shadow. You are in light and in shadow, and in the light and in the shadow, till something inside says, no more, please, no more. And light. Everyone is convinced that he is a person, he is someone with a body and a mind, and calls this together I. So this I is the body and it is the mind. But when we fall asleep in the deep night, we fall asleep, then the body disappears. But there is still the mind. So one part of the I is fallen away, but it still remains as mind, as the thoughts I. And in that mind, in the night, all funny things can appear. Images and stories and fantastic adventures. This all happens in the I that I am in the sleep. But in the deep sleep, when there is no more dream awareness or mind, still the I exists. It exists without the body, because we left that in the bed in the evening, and it exists without the mind because we left that in the realm of imaginations. So what remains is still me. And that's what I am. That's the only reality, the everlasting I am. But I am is without the tools of the body or the mind. These were just objects to use for me, to know that I don't need them. I took a form, a body, and I took a mind to recognize that it was all just tools. It was just objects to find out that I am neither them, not the body nor the mind. And in the deep sleep, I am still there, because if I were not there, how could I wake up in the morning and enter the body and the mind again? So this is the play of Maya, the play of illusion. We are invisible and we play a visible story. A person with thoughts and habits and attachments, but we all have to lose all of that, to let go, because we are nor the body nor the mind, and it is proven by the fact that in the deep sleep we both left body and mind, but we still are alive. We are still there, even much deeper than ever on earth in a body form. But we need to leave the thoughts and the mind behind, and then the body afterwards, to be convinced that we are everlasting presence. We are presence without our little self, the body or the mind. It has done its job. Thank you, body. Thank you, mind. You brought me to what I were all those time, but I didn't recognize it. That's the story of me going into a form and finally happily left it behind. Although it's maybe still here in a form moving around, but it's not me anymore. It's life force. It's never a thought in me that says, I will do this or I'm going to do that. When it happens, it is from the inside that it happens. And it's left behind when it's done. It's not my doing. That's the work of the great being, the great I am. The beingness that's eternal me, without me. If we would think, use our brains on another way than we mostly do. Most people use the mind only for themselves, for having a good life, feeling better, having more. And that's to the outer side of life, to the world directed. And this takes you away from yourself. If we would learn, and we will learn by disappointments and suffering, we will learn to stop doing that and taking the mind back inside, the attention to why is this happening to me? And at that moment, mind is going inside, wondering who is doing this, who is thinking like this. And then we start slowly, and if we continue on that side of inner looking, we will learn that everything on the outside is the other way than what is really there. It's the universe. Uni means all together, and verse is from the word verse. It means turn, vice versa. And if you turn everything from the universe, what is outside, you turn it inside, then you start to see that you are not sleeping and then waking up, but there is much, much more. We forget about the deep sleep where there is no mind. It's not possible to have a mind in the peace of the deep sleep, because there is no mind there. It's just only the beingness. That's what we really are. Then from this deep sleep in the night, the beingness starts to vibrate the mind, the thoughts, and that is the dream state. In the dream state, everything is possible. The funniest things and the craziest and the whatever can be there. And then after the dream, we wake up in the day light, the day state, and that's what we are, we think. And there is the possibility to do, and the urge to reach and to find a better way for ourselves and maybe for the family. And well, it is really directed to the body and the self. But if you see it the other way around, the universe, the turning inside, then this state of the day is the third state. And the dream state in the night, in the sleep, is the second state. And what we really are, the formless, mindless, thoughtless being, the source, that is the first eternal state. That's what we are. But we can never come there with our mind, because it is there free of everything. But that we are that is the source from where all movement comes from. There is the deep state, the source of our being. And from that starts the vibration of thinking, and from that thinking starts the body acting. And then we think, oh, that's me doing, or I'm afraid, I don't want. That's the personal side. But what we really are has no form. It's a sort of emptiness. But it's not empty of life and experience. It's empty of personal doings. And the emptiness is full of our reality, of what we are. This is the most happy state you can have. If you know, that's why we are in the day and in the sleep time and in the daytime, to experience everything and then start to understand that's not that, it's not this, it's not that. What is it that makes me move? And then slowly you start to understand. And that's why this source starts to vibrate and acts as if it is a separated entity, you and the neighbor and everybody. But we all have to turn inside and see what we are, and that's the bliss. That is Sat, Chit, Ananda. The Sat is to be, and Chit is to know, and then follows the Ananda. If you know what you are, there's the bliss, the happiness. Sat is being, Chit is knowing. Being, knowing. Know what you are. You are not this all around you, and not this form. You are the inner self, and that's why this play is played. It's a game, the game of the mind. It's not even yours, because you are the one play it, imagine it. You are the one who is being moved. But there is a force inside, a formless entity, awareness, consciousness, and that's what you really are. Go and find out. It will bring you happiness. Whatever is moving around us and in ourselves, it is all the moving force of God, God consciousness, on his way to itself, or himself, or science, or consciousness, wisdom, discovering itself in all forms. That means when you see a stone, there is a moving force in the stone. Very slowly, very, very slowly, but it will turn to become dust, and then sand, and sand will become a plant. The feeding force will show, it will grow out to a plant, and the plant after a long time will become like animal. Not directly a big huge bear, but it will be a living moving force, and the animal will turn out to become a great wise animal, like elephants or dolphin. It's very much consciousness in those animals. They are very wise, and the God force in them is developing, and then from that force comes the first human life. Human which is like animal, which has the characteristics of an animal, like greedy and selfish. A lot of people are like that, and then slowly by feeling and experiencing a lot of difficulties and trouble and pain, the human will become more understanding of the things that he feels is also felt in others. So then is a transformation in the human going on, and this is all the God force, the God consciousness growing to itself through the life and the experiences of the human, and then becoming a compassionate, wise man or woman, and then growing above its own capacity. Because out of the mind there comes the great wisdom, and then there is no more form needed, and there is merging with God, who started all in the beginning. And this is the circle of life, and God is always in the silence, but He is also always in the vibration. And this vibration goes on and on. It starts all over with dust and stone, plant, animal, human being, God. And all over again, till there is no more force to be changed or transformed. But that will be for you when you have finished it, when there is one being finished and reaching God itself or Himself, there will be the peace forever. But the same force goes on in other forms in the planet. So that means that the planet will not exist anymore when you reached your own beingness, yourself or God. But same time, the planet goes on existing because there will be other forms developing to the reality what they are. This moving force is always vibrating, and you can be the witness of it. You can observe, and you can also say, I'm resting now. I'm staying in the unmoving awareness, aware of only my self-awareness. And you can also be aware of the awareness in all those moving, playing objects of God Himself. It's just a vision what I see, the transformation from dust to God. It's taking place all over. So if you kick on a stone in the street, know what you are doing. If you are stealing from somebody, know what you are doing. If you are helping somebody and being good for the other, feel what you are doing. And that is growing to yourself, which is only love. Love, love, love. Love in peace and love in action. Always God being that. The God or the love or the self. It's a nice game. Be happy. All will be well. Nothing to do, nothing to be, nothing to look for, nothing to wait for, nothing to long for, not a single thing can give you what you are. It's only taking you away from what you are. It's everything that exists is the God, the beingness we are looking for. The self, the love, the consciousness, the awareness, you can name it, just words from the alphabet, doesn't change a single thing of what you are. You can never become what you are. Only these words make you see how funny we are. We want to become what we are. And we make so much distance to discover there is no distance at all. Funny, yeah, people? But that's the game. Because if you don't look for it, you cannot never be happy to find it. And that's what it's all about, the happiness to discover yourself. And it's here all the time. It never left. Be happy.